Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Hollow Knight. Last time, after defeating the False Knight, we wandered into this spooky area, which we now know is known as the Ancestral Mound. And here we met the Smell Shaman, the Snail Shaman. And we received the Vengeful Spirit spell, which uses our focus gauge to launch a projectile, a really large one. It's about the size of the knight's body. And we get about 3 of them for a full soul gauge. And after learning this spell from the shaman, the knight passed out, and we came to barred on the other side of a gate, with the shaman on the other. And it seems pretty coercive what the shaman was after. Oops. Slash the opposite direction. The shaman tasked us with killing some great beasts. They didn't really elaborate on what that beast is or what it does. But we get some foreshadowing in the area based on what we are fighting. These roly-polies. All over the place. And over here in this optional area, we'll get some lifeblood. So a couple of extra bonus masks just to take on the challenges of the area. This is actually a pretty small subzone. This is still technically a part of the Forgotten Crossroads. And this enemy is called an Elder Balder. And it is made specifically to be a Vengeful Spirit tutorial enemy. And occasionally it'll do this. Wow, I messed that trajectory up. I misjudged that so badly. And the deal with those is that they will occasionally just shoot out smaller balders, the roly-polies, so you can gain soul to blast him. Oh, we've slain the beast. That was apparently it. The poor thing, it must have been terrified of you. It used to be quite docile, but the rancid air in these caverns filled it with some ancient rage. Still, you did what had to be done. You have my gratitude. Of course, we both know you wouldn't have made it through without that spell of mine. It's true. Look, the gate between us is opened. Yeah, so mysterious. I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell and have faith. Whatever you're seeking, it will find you. Why do you hesitate? You'll get nothing more from me, I'm afraid. Though I do admire your persistence. Oh, imagine it's like an Ojo-sama kind of laugh, actually. So here we can swap charms out and grab that one that we just acquired, the Soul Catcher. And we don't have enough notches just to add that one straight off, so instead we'll take off Fury of the Fallen and put the Soul Catcher on, and what that will allow us to do is gain more soul when we strike enemies. Fill up the gauge faster. Now we can go ahead and continue on our way with an additional ability in tow. And we still have at least the armor of the False Knight left behind. Actually, that would be the armor of the legendary knight, the False Knight being the maggot inhabiting it. You can hear someone up above in an area that we can't quite reach yet. We'll just keep this in mind for later. There will be so many moments like that, especially in the early and mid-game. Just try to keep track of all of the little things that we can't quite reach yet. Those things that are just slightly out of our reach. To go back to the Elder Balder, did get a little bit greedy. We took 2 pips of damage for that greed. That would have got me another 2 if that hadn't killed. Actually, that would have been a death. Ooh. Played that one mighty tight. So you get the roly-polies out so you can gain some soul to blast him. If we were to have tried to get close... Oh, we're taking the long way. Oh well, even the long way is not that bad. think we could have just continued left and dropped back to where we needed to be, or rather climbed up. If we had tried to get close to the Elder Boulder, it would have curled up into a ball, and its shell would have protected him from any kind of melee attacks. So you actually have to use the spell that you get in order to escape the area that you get trapped in after getting it. Just a little bit of good game design there. Just teaching you and getting you acclimated to using this pretty important ability. All without much, you know, explicit tutorializing. The beginning of the game is good like that too. Again, we have another little caberpibber. It's just out of reach. Can't quite get to him yet. Although by the end of this episode, we might just get an ability that will let us get to him. I should say by normal means we can't get to him. I'm pretty sure you can sequence break your way up to him just by pogoing off of enemies that you drag close. But that is both time consuming and I am not consistent at doing it given I've not practiced that. Wilds and Fungal Groves and Kingdom's Heart. There all wishes shall be granted, all truths revealed. And again, we have to pass another one of these trials, these tutorial-esque trials, in order to move on into the Fungal Waste. This is why we needed this ability in the first place, to get into this second area of the game after the Forgotten Crossroads. So the first time we come up against... Oh, I thought I would have landed on the platform below. It's a little bit too big of a gap. The first time is just to teach us how to fight those enemies and how to properly use the Vengeful Spirit Blast. And then the second time is just making sure that we have it and gating the area off in case we don't. But since we do have it, we can enter into Greenpath. A brand new environment. It's lush and beautiful. Not everything is going to be this somber blue-gray. The music's even somewhat tranquil. Everything is still very moody. What two words was I trying to combine there? Everything's still very moody. But, just a slightly different tone to this one. Oh, I love how they play with the different foreground and background elements here. It's so complexly layered. Especially here in Greenpath is when you first start to notice that, I feel like, because they play with so many of the foreground elements, as well as, you know, the stuff directly in the background. And then the layer that's still pretty much in focus right behind that, but then you get these enormous background elements way further in the distance, layered way further back. And do this like beautiful depth of field work and this really, really nice parallax with it. Like you can see these waterfalls. And then it just becomes creamy and pastel in the background. Like the deeper back you go. Hallownest's art is so astonishing. Ooh, who is this? We're going to be following her for a little bit as we progress through Greenpath. And also, when we come to this new area, we get all brand new enemies. Many of whom fit the theme of the biome that we're in. Especially this little dude, who, couldn't quite get to him before he did that. You have to watch because not only will they do that toxic explosion when they're alive, they'll do it again when they're dead. It's like a Rondo of Blood boss. Oh, I couldn't pogo twice off it. And then we're also introduced to this in Greenpath. Oh my god, there's so many like, really nice particles in this level. All the leaves, all the brush. Oops. We can actually use those falling platforms that we cut down in order to smush the enemies. Get it. This guy. No, I'm wanting a pogo. It's just not quite timing that right. Oh, and we know what these pieces of paper littering the ground are. And we can just barely start to hear him. There we go. He's coming into the audio field a little bit clearer now. And also we have this hidden platform that we drop with the vine. So he's somewhere on our right. But first, by hitting that secret platform, we get to grab a grub, and now we can go get the map from Cornifer. Such a human lively place, the roads twist and turn in the most wonderful ways. I've done my best to chart the area ahead, though I must admit some of the area's inhabitants proved quite a nuisance. Yeah, this is where they ramp up the difficulty of the general enemies in the area just a little bit, and of course we are paying 60 geo. That is nothing for something so useful. Ran into another traveler as I made my way down here. I tried to call her out. Call out to her as she dashed past, but she barely even glanced in my direction. Not an appreciator of maps like you and I. So this is perfect. And once we rest at a bench, we can fill in even more of this. Greenpath is actually not quite as big, I think, as the Forgotten Crossroads that we just came from. Wow, that works out so well. Oh yeah, and speaking of all the background and foreground elements, I also love how many things in like the first layer of the background or the foreground like that you can just slash and turn into these falling leaves and particles. Oh? Tiny squib, you approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of hunter. Not a hunter or the hunter. That seems to be his given name. And we get the hunter's journal. Also, those 6 eyes look familiar, don't they? You may have overcome a few creatures. Don't delay, descend into the belly of this world and hunt down the life you find. So let's take a look at that. This is going to be our bestiary. And we will get basic battle tactics for some monsters, and also, once we encounter enough of them, some lore. Weak creatures love to steal the strength of others. Their lives are brief and fearful, and they yearn to have the power to dominate those who have dominated them. Oh, and that's also where we learn about the maggot who inhabited the armor, to protect its kin. So I will occasionally try to check back in as the journal updates as we encounter more of the, more repeats of the same monster types. And that's why we cut that down before, and we cut this one down, and it will also not just allow us to progress, but to get this grub. Oh, come at me. Okay, never mind, don't come at me. I didn't want that. I thought I wanted it, but I didn't. Some of the fog can really obscure a few of these platforms. Things tend to blend a bit. Oh, and these enemies. These flying, projectile spewing enemies. We're still trying to track down this... Ooh! Oh, I love these enemies! We're still trying to track down whoever that is with the red cloak, who looks a lot like the knight. Looks at least to be kind of the same species, at least. I'm not falling for that shit again. You have to be really vigilant in this area. A lot of different enemies will pop out of the ground, like the ones shrouded in the shrubs. And also, don't think I'm going the right way right here. And also the Venus flytraps. I think these always shoot in that X-shaped pattern. But it becomes a little bit complicated when you have 2 or more of them on screen at once. Especially if they're occupying an area with that acidic water underneath you, or an area populated with other enemies or narrow platforms. That's what I mean when I say the Greenpath steps it up just a little bit. When we oh no! I always get the cry of those things confused with the cry of the grubs. Pretty sure I'm going the wrong direction here as well. I think I'm heading towards an area that I can't really do much with yet. But we can show this off, this method of getting across the acidic pond, just by pogoing on the back of that guy. Oh, it's fun to do. Yes, we are definitely going into an area that we are not adequately prepared for yet, but we can get a preview of Fog Canyon before we head back up into Greenpath to continue on here. Because near the end of Greenpath, we will get the first of many treats to come. Treats I'm really, really excited about. Also, we're gonna... Oh man, Greenpath has so much good stuff in it yet to come. And it's all like back to back to back. There's a really good boss fight in here. There's a lot of plot development coming up. Plot and narrative development. There is a fucking goodie. A banger of a goodie. And you can guess by how much I deeply adore movement options. The nature of that goodie. In the meantime, we can just enjoy the ambience and meet a new enemy type. Oh, these little guys. Rather, I should say these big guys. Or maybe they're not so big. They're just disguising themselves as a larger form of endemic life. Maybe to startle us. Maybe to intimidate us. Which is a nice touch. It's something that maybe a certain species of insect would actually do. Yeah, I always confuse the noise these things make with the caterpillar friends. Okay, so the woman in red went this way. She's ascending, so we're gonna keep following her. It's really our only lead to go on, unless we want to give in to wanderlust and kind of endlessly traverse with no direction or purpose. But do you see how good Hollow Knight actually is about signposting where to go without telling you, hey, go over here, or putting actual like neon blinking signs up? It really takes advantage of your curiosity to do that as well. You naturally just want to follow the lady in red. The game doesn't have to tell you where to go or what to do, you just want to. Even though you have all of these branching pathways that you could follow. Oh, god damn, that went poorly. I think that's why I love Hollow Knight so much compared to... Oh, I didn't quite get that second slash off, so I couldn't prevent it. That's, I think, why I love Hollow Knight so much compared to most Metroidvanias. Because I never get that analysis paralysis, I never get that anxiety that comes along with having too many options and going like, oh, I don't know which way I should be going first. Do I want to go here? Do I want to go this? Is this the right way? Is this the wrong way? I never get that anxiety. I'm always content to go in whatever direction that I'm pressing onward in. The greater mind once dreamed of leaf and cast these caverns so, in every bush and every vine the mind of Un reveals itself to us. The greater mind once dreamed of leaf. That's actually super important, that passage. Also, there is a hidden wall back here. Or a hidden area. With a little bit of lifeblood. That's worth it. Oh, and there's one more that should give us a second pip. Great. Now, am I going left or am I heading right here? I think that I go left later on. Oh, and look at this. For a minute, inert, but then if you slash the leaves, it wakes him up. And he becomes like a Hade Knight. These guys are nice and tricky to fight, but they are an extension of an enemy that we have already fought. These smaller beetles with the sword and shield. They're just much tougher versions of that. They have the same kind of gimmick, though, where their shield will track you and they'll block whatever direct attack you're making against them, so you have to kind of mix them up and kind of wait for them to start their attack and get to the other side where their shield isn't and attack from there. Alternatively, just blast the hell out of them with Vengeful Spirit. Oh, and things change back to the gray-blue now. The music changes a bit. It fades. And changes to something a little bit more somber again. I don't think we have cause to go back to the right side just yet. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that there is something cool waiting for us over here on the left. If you listen... Oh, yes! So we're gonna free this dude, who also, again, looks a lot like the knight. Same species, maybe. Some kind of kin to him. Being chomped on. We're gonna save him. Now, you can ignore him and not fight this mini-boss. Oops. Who is just a tougher version of the flies. Even spawns a couple of them when he roars. We could ignore this friend in need, and he will die. And that will alter some side quests for later on. We don't want that. No, we want to show everything involving this character off. Having really bad luck landing fireballs on him. I think I missed. Damn it, I just can't get enough height, and I'm not being patient enough to allow him to swoop just low enough to hit him. Come on. There's a delay after you're in the air before you can actually fire the thing. So that could have gone faster, but oh well. Now, let's see if he's okay. He is. Who is this boy? So what do you think you're doing? You dare to come between me and my prey? Is it a habit of yours to scurry about, getting in the way and causing bother? Know this, cur. I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown. Cross me again and you'll find out why they call my weapon Life Ender. Oh, what a dickhead! What are you still bothering me for? I'm a knight. I'm not interested in your childish games. I need my rest. Begone, lest I draw my nail. Life Ender. I will slay you with Life Ender. Oh, he's such an edgy shitlord. I hate him, but I love him so much. Oh, he's such an edgy little piece of shit. The Life Ender. It's like, it's so apparent that he's just overcompensating, and also, oh, what a prick. The green children walked from the dream unto these lands. Here we now shall wait, patient for the call to return. The green children walked from the dream. This is our second reference to the dream since entering Greenpath. The green children walked from the dream unto these lands. Oh great, we have another one of these and no soul gauge to fight with. I did not know they had projectiles. I must have forgotten that. That's a game changer. I think these enemies will become much easier later on. For now, they're a little bit of a challenge. Especially because I'm quite rusty. Haven't played Hollow Knight since last year. But we rescued the Capper Pipperfrem. So we're good to go there. We rescued Zote the Mighty Knight of much renown with his nail the Life Ender. Biggest piece of shit, and he is a recurring NPC. So yeah, strap in for Zote. That time I didn't actually confuse their cry for the Caperpippers. Instead, I just actually recognized that I needed a little bit of focus. A little bit of soul. I use those so interchangeably. It's not going to be an issue because we have a bench here anyway, and that will restore our health. And you know how this works. We met the last stag last time, and he is the best friendo in this game. Just an adorable stag beetle who will take us wherever we need to go. So 140 Geo is a very small price to pay. I found in my first playthrough of Hollow Knight that Geo is actually such an abundant resource. There is no actual shortage. And there's not a lot to dump your Geo into. So spend it liberally. There's not a whole lot that you have to actually like save up for. Now, once again, just like before actually, the boss area that we're heading to is just up and to the left from the stag beetle area, from the stagway station. Come no closer, ghost. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, a terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are, I know what you try to do, and I can't allow it. A terrible thing awakens. And funny, she knows... Oh, she's so cool! Funny, she knows what we would try to do when even we don't. We the player and we the knight. So she's got Stinger, which is pretty appropriate because she's called Hornet. She's got Killer Bee, basically. She's got like a version of Round Trip, I guess. Oh, yeah, it's so cool. And she fights with a needle and thread. Hornet's the coolest. Also, by the way, she is totally our rival battle. Yeah, Hollow Knight's got a rival battle. Oh, and you have to watch out for the one where she just whirls the thread about, as opposed to when she goes up into the air to dive kick you. Fuck, she's so cool. She only gets cooler. Her design is also the best. It's so simple and yet so effective. There it is. Grapples away, but leaves this behind, the Mothwing Cloak. Press RT to dash forward on the ground, or, damn it, in the air. Would it seek to break the seals? Hell yeah, I'll break the seals for a dash, whatever, yeah. They can't be undone, but they must be undone. I'll undo all the seals for this dash. Let us sleep, little shadow, return to your darkness, allow us our peace. Let us sleep, and it refers to us as a little shadow. Also, look at their masks. if you could glimpse them before the fade to white. They were the same symbols as the ones on the Temple of the Black Egg. So we have a lot of references to sleeping and dreaming. But enough about that. We got this, this good dash. Oh, yes. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Dash. Fuck the seals. I'll break all the seals. Let out all the ancient evils or whatever. If I get a dash out of it. If there was a box and somebody told me that if I opened it, I would release all of the evils in the world, but then they said at the bottom of the box I would get a sick air dash, are you kidding me? Of course I would open that box. It would be like halfway through cautioning me against opening it, and all you would hear is me off in the distance going, woo! Air dash! Like, yeah, fuck the box. Bring the evils on. Give me the air dash. That's all I want. Oh no. Let's get out of here. And talk to our buddy Quirrell again. With our new good dash. Hello there. It seems we both tread far from the path. I can hardly believe those dusty old highways led to such a lush and lively place. This building suggests some form of worship, though its idol has clearly been long forgotten, doubles equally well for a moment's respite. I saw a strange fellow out there. He seemed quite taken by the lake of Odin. I'd planned to offer greetings, though I figured I'd first tend to my nail on chance our meeting goes poorly. Your nail looks a fine instrument, but showing signs of wear. I'd wager up there it would take you far. Down here, however, I suspect you'll soon meet dangers the surface world can't match. Hallownest is perfect for vigilant explorers like us, so tense and thrilling. In this place, you're either alert or you're dead. Alright, we're gonna find more uses for a cool new air dash next time. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.